They call me Mr. Goofy because I'm a really funny guy. You have no idea what's gonna come out of my mouth next because I'm just that unpredictable and awesome. If you could tell, I couldn't really come up with an intro. I was even really thinking extremely hard and was trying to do something like really funny with some super duper cool edits that was gonna completely blow your mind, but all of my plans just completely fell apart, so this is basically what you get for the intro. But either way, let me just stop talking and actually just get to the point. So, not so long ago, I ended up finding a video of a meeting that they ended up having in Australia. I'm really losing the name on what these things are called. It's basically when a bunch of people come up on stage and talk about like important changes. And the main reason why I'm talking about this is because one girl ended up doing a very interesting speech where she decided to use a bunch of internet slang that Gen Z and Gen Alpha uses so she can go and convey her point and connect more to that audience, which was just a very interesting idea, and just seeing the video is something that is so bizarre in that is one of those situations that you really have to sit down and wonder, am I really living in real life right now? Have I accidentally teleported myself into a different timeline? Or maybe have I found a glitch inside the simulation and am I going to be the one who finally wakes up and become like the main character of this world? So either way, let me stop yapping and just show you this clip because man, it is pretty interesting.
Rise to address an oft-forgotten segment of our society. I speak of Generation Z, who will be playing a substantial role in the next election, and Generation Alpha, who will start to come of age the election after. It is for this reason that I shall now render the remainder of my statement using language they're familiar with. To the Sigmas of Australia, I say that this goofy-air government have been capping, not just now but for a long time. A few of you may remember when they said there'll be no phantom tax under the government I lead. They're capaholics. They're also yapaholics. They yap non-stop about how their cost of living measures are changing lives for all Australians. Just put the fries in the bag, little bro.
So she just began her amazing speech, and I'll say she did a pretty good job copying the internet slang, especially yapaholic and capaholic. Those are two things that I never heard anyone said at all, and I feel like that's something that I need to start saying because that's actually hilarious. I think I already said my piece on like modern internet slang. I really feel like we've reached a point where we only have like extremes. You know, we rather make words that I think are absolutely terrible and I'll never understand how like anyone sees as funny or actually says unironically. Like I think a good example for that for me easily has to be Riz. This was a word that I actually used to like when it first started, but now the more I hear it, I just absolutely despise it and I can't stand when people just say Riz. But you want to know something else that I also hate even more than that? Aura. I can't stand when people go like, oh man, you just completely lost all your aura. I absolutely hate that. It is extremely annoying. Even though I don't like Riz, I am fine with like saying Riz as a joke. That's completely okay. But saying it unironically isn't. That's just extremely cringe. But aura in any scenario is just something that I straight up just despise. So I'd rather have words like that, or you have like words that I actually think are funny and completely okay to use. Like for a good example, capping and yapping. I know those are stuff that's just not really that new, especially yapping. That was the thing that a lot of people used to say back then. It's kind of just reviving again. I hate talking about things like this because it just makes you feel like you're 1,000 years old, which if you can clearly tell, well you can't because you can't see my face. I am not actually that old, but every time when I stand up and talk about memes and stuff, I just automatically feel like my hair is going to start graying automatically. I'm going to start sounding like an old person. Like, I just completely lost my old man impression. Maybe I should even try to do voice impressions because I'm just really bad at that. But either way, let's continue watching this clip.
They tell us that they're locked in on improving the housing situation in this country. They must have brain rot from watching too much Kai Cenat and forgot about their plans to ban social media for kids under 14. If that becomes law, you can forgo skull emoji all about watching Duke Dennis or catching a dub with the bros on Fort.
Actually, it's called Fortnite. I also just have to give this girl tons of compliment that she is saying all of this with a complete straight face. I would not be able to do that if I was really sitting down in front of here in a very important meeting in whatever these stuff are called. I straight up can't remember. I would not be able to straight up just say this speech without like cracking up, smiling, or just laughing at my own joke. I probably wouldn't be embarrassed saying something like this because, I mean, if I'm really gonna stand up and do this, this is clearly planned. And I'm pretty sure the whole reason why she ended up doing this is to just get attention and to get more people talking about this clip, which is clearly working because me, someone who does not know anything or do not care about Australian politics at all, is talking about this clip because, you know, she's standing up and saying goofy, funny internet terms like lock in. Lock in is another internet term that I absolutely love. That is amazing. I love when people say lock in. It's way more better than saying like get in serious. So that's another internet slang that I like. And plus, man, why do people always bring up Kai Cenat as like the key cause of brain rot? Yeah, I ended up watching some of his streams. It's not really my cup of tea, but I wouldn't really say he's like a brain rot magnet. I have seen so much other streamers that are like way more worse than him on the bigger side and on the smaller side. So I don't know why he's always the number one person to blame to be like the key cause of brain rot.
Chat, is this Prime Minister serious? Even though he's the Prime Minister of Australia, sometimes it feels like he's the CEO of Ohio. I would be taking an L if I did not mention the Ops, who want to cut WA's GATS and services tax. The decision voters will be making in a few months' time will be between a mid-government, a dog-water opposition, or a crossbench that will mog both of them. Though some of you cannot yet vote, I hope when you do, it will be in a more goated Australia for a government with more aura.
A very interesting display. I truly have to give my round of applause that this is a technique that she ended up trying to do. I don't know if it really succeed. I don't really see anyone talking about this at all. This reminds me of the girl, I think around last year, who ended up being in the exact same meeting, just like this. But instead of her using a bunch of internet slang like gat, riz, and skibbity, she ended up bringing up like bleach as an example. Which her bringing up bleach was actually a pretty good example for her point. Like, I could understand why she decided to do that. But at the same time, that's probably something you shouldn't really bring up at a meeting like this, especially since 99% of people there probably have no idea what anime is. I mean, this is the government we're talking about. Everyone there is like extremely old. They probably still think you can watch like anime on like Adult Swim or something. Do they even still air anime there? I can't even remember the last time I actually like to watch TV naturally. But either way, this is just a very interesting event that ended up happening, and I just had to go and yap about this. We truly do live in an interesting world. Now, before I leave, I just want to say, please do not bring your political takes in the comment section below, okay? I do not want to talk about politics here on this channel. I just don't care at all. You can take those somewhere else and argue on a different platform like Twitter. Please don't do it in my comment section, okay? I'm probably going to have me in the future add that in like earlier in the video. But either way, that's it. My name is Lua. You have a good day or night.